Well, this is going to be a fun video for me to make because it involves some projects that have special meaning to me. I have three granddaughters and I decided to make guitars for them. I have two grandsons and I've either made or given both of them guitars. And it all started because of my grandfather, who made this and gave it to me when I was 2 years old. He had the idea he was going to make a banjo for every one of his grandchildren. He made four of them before he passed away, and I have one. I'm not really a banjo player, but it sounds like this. Anyway, this kind of started, I guess, what I would call a family tradition. And so, like I said, I decided I would make guitars for granddaughters, and two of them are right here. One of them I already gave away, and they are modeled on this guitar, which is right here in the middle. And we'll start by talking about this guitar a little bit. And then I'm going to do a comparison of the three. If you're interested in guitar making or guitar collecting, there's a significant difference between all three of these guitars in the bracing system that's inside. So this is a Washburn guitar, and it says 1897 new model. So that gives you an idea of the age of this guitar. It's over 100 years old. When I got the guitar, it was literally in pieces. The glue had failed. The guy I bought it from said, yeah, it has everything there except for the glue. And that was a very accurate description. The top was in two pieces. The back had separated from the body, was also in two pieces. And all of the braces were just laying in the case. And it took quite a bit to put this guitar back together. Now, I'm going to play just a little bit on it so you get a chance to hear what it sounds like. And a little later in this video, I'll come back to this guitar and talk about it a little bit more. So I'll start by just playing some single notes. Some chords. Now, the thing that I would like to mention about the construction of this guitar that is different than the others is that it was constructed with what is called a ladder bracing system, which means there are straight bars that go through here and up here. This one also has an interesting transverse bar that they experimented with, hoping it would get more bass frequency out of the guitar. And so that's how this guitar is constructed. It's Brazilian rosewood, back and sides, mahogany neck, spruce top. All right, we'll move on to the next guitar. This one is one of the ones I've made for a granddaughter. And the wood in this is, I guess I would say, repurposed or upcycled wood. This is walnut, and it used to be part of a big cabinet. The wood in the middle here is called leopard wood. I don't know if you can see the grain on that. I got that from a local lumber supplier. The top is cedar, and it came from it used to be the lining of a sauna. And so all of this stuff has been repurposed in constructing this guitar. Basically, this is a copy, but not an exact copy, of that old Washburn. I made the body deeper than the Washburn, and this has a different bracing system. This has what's called a V class. V is in victory, bracing. I believe there was a guitar maker in the Netherlands who filed a patent for this pattern back in the 1970s. But basically it has a bar that goes through like this and makes a V, as you'll see in the picture. And the idea was to create more sustain in the guitar because it creates a more solid pathway for that vibration to travel. So it does have good sustain. And I hope you can hear. You can hear sympathetic vibration from other strings. So I'll do the same thing. I'll play a little bit on this guitar. Parlor guitars, being they're a small body, tend to have kind of a honky sound in the mid-range. And you can hear a little bit of that right here. But it's not too bad. All right, we'll go to the next granddaughter guitar. This one is the same wood as the one I just showed you, the walnut and the cedar. And the unique thing, the thing that makes this different than either of those, is the bracing pattern, which is an X. It goes right through here and right through there. Just like that. You'll see that in the picture as well. I've talked about these bracing patterns more in another of the Guitar Story videos, and we've found that the X brace seems to be the preferred bracing system, perhaps, analogous to our internal support structures that we have, our coping mechanisms that deal with stress. You have the stress of string here. You have vibration. We have stress and vibration in our lives. And how our internal coping mechanisms function determines what kind of music comes out of us. And the cross is preferable. All right, I'll do the same kind of playing on this guitar so you can hear some single notes. And once again, you can hear sympathetic vibration. This one does not seem to have quite that honky mid-range sound. So I think maybe the X bracing was a good idea. So which one do you like best? I am not really too sure. I like certain aspects of all three. And I want to come back to to this guy because the circumstances of restoring and repairing this guitar showed me a parable that I'd like to share with you. As I said, when I got the guitar, it was pretty much completely apart. The braces on the inside were loose inside the case. And I began putting things back together. I started thinking about what is it that holds braces together? What is the glue? And I started thinking about our country and our culture and about some of the braces that I think are missing in our culture. For example, trust. We don't have a lot of trust in our culture, whether you're talking about the media or the government or maybe even your neighbors. We're not a very trusting people these days. We seem to have lost that somehow. Faith is another one that's kind of eroded and gone away. And there's a lot of talk about science versus faith, and we lean a lot towards the scientific method and Western reasoning and all that kind of thing. What I've learned thinking about this is that there are many scientists who say that the deeper you dive into science, when you really dive deeply into things, the closer you get to God. And for example, they're researching the origin of everything, right? The Big Bang, our cosmos out there. And they're also doing a lot of research looking at the microcosmos. So the human cell, for example, which is so incredibly complex that there's no way that this could have happened by chance. And so, faith is eroded with the, I don't know, what do you want to call it, science being preached as the only thing you can put your trust in, but even that, And so what is it that holds these things in place? Another one would be just civility and kindness, in our culture. That's a brace that's missing. So I started thinking about what's the glue? What's the glue that we're missing? And here's what I think, and you can tell me if you agree or not, but I'm thinking truth, the existence of truth. And I don't mean your truth and my truth. You hear a lot of talk like that. You have to live your truth. This is my truth. That's your truth. Well, what if you have two people who are living their truth and it conflicts and they're not the same? Well, one of them has to be wrong. One's true and one's false in that kind of a situation. I believe that's the way it is. There's black and there's white. For example, did God make the universe and everything that's out there, or did it just occur by random? One of those is true and one of those is not. They can't both be true. And it makes a big difference because, for example, if you think everything just was a random chance occurrence, then it's useless to try to find meaning if you look around and see where we live and the conditions of our existence, because if everything is just random, then we're here randomly by chance too, and you can't find any meaning in that that's solid. If, on the other hand, God created, then by definition, some kind of purpose was breathed into this whole universe that we live in. And that means there's meaning that can be discovered. So truth, I think, is a really important glue that holds things in place. And when that goes away, then all these other braces just start to fall away. Faith, trust, civility, because there's no hope. If everything's just random, there's no hope, really. And if there's no hope, then consequences don't matter. So I'll stop right there with that. And I call this guitar Elmer because of the missing glue. And I'm going to play a piece for you called Sunrise in Bosnia so you can hear a little bit more of this guitar. Sunrise in Bosnia. And this is Elmer. And I encourage you to think about the truth that you have built the foundation of your whole life on.